Welcome to the Virtual Manager podcast. My name's Anna Russell. I'm an artist manager and founder of The Virtual Manager. Throughout my career, I've developed and managed several music artists from new unsigned acts right through to globally successful ones. This podcast is for all unmanaged or independent music artists who want to start, build, or grow a successful, sustainable music career. Every now and then on this podcast, I put out an episode which I call Diary of an Artist Manager. These are observations from my day-to-day work as a manager rather than the usual how-to style of episodes. However, I like to think they're just as insightful. This episode is the latest Diary of an Artist Manager where I want to talk about artistic vision. A strong vision is something I consider one of the essential foundations to a successful, sustainable music career, meaning it's something that all music artists should have. I was especially reminded of that this week when I attended the Brits, because at that show, with the artists using huge levels of production for their performances, you're seeing the ultimate conclusion of each artist who is performing's vision happen right in front of you. And with each of them, it was very clear that they had a strong artistic vision which drives their artist projects overall. And these performances were a visual representation of that on a massive scale. Especially when I think about artists like Dave, Lizzo, Stormzy and Harry Styles who all performed, to name just a few. But what is a strong artistic vision? So when we think about vision, you're really thinking about who you are as an artist and what you stand for. What makes your work different and valuable? How you want the artist project to sound, look and feel. How you want to be perceived as an artist. What you want to be known for. What you want the culture within and around your artist project to be. What change you want to invoke through your music. How do you want to help and or entertain people? And ultimately, it's what you want to achieve as an artist. If you end up at your intended destination as an artist, what is that destination for you? What is the vision? To get clear on this, it helps to think 5 or even 10 years into the future of your career. What does that future look like? Where are you and what are you doing in your career? Then think about yourself near the end of your life. What do you want to be able to say that you've experienced and achieved as an artist? I encourage you to think big with this exercise. You don't need to know how you're going to do it yet, just what you want to do. But why is it important to have a strong vision for your artist project? Well, the artists that I know who have been most successful and that I've worked with most successfully as a manager are those that have a really strong vision for their artist project. And I think there are several reasons for that. First of all, I think having a strong vision inspires your creativity. It makes it really clear for you what you want to create, which types of songs you want to write, which lyrics and messages in songs feel important to you, how you want to perform, what you want your live show to look and feel like, what the experiences that you want listeners to have, and what you want your content to consist of. Next, I think having a strong vision really fuels your motivation. Having a strong vision gives you more purpose and, as a result, more drive. It's something you can depend on to keep you motivated when you inevitably come up against obstacles or discouragement. So just by having this really clear, strong vision in mind and knowing that you're always working towards that, I think really does help give you a bit more motivation, especially when times get tough. And I also think that having a strong vision really shapes your strategy as an artist, how it is that you're going to approach your career and the tactics and the moves that you will make to get there. That's because when you have a strong vision, it becomes easier to follow the right strategy in your career. You are more easily and naturally able to make sure that your decisions and activities as an artist are aligned with that vision. Opportunities that come your way will either help you get closer to or further away from your vision. So having a strong vision helps you to choose correctly what you should be doing. Your strategy, in turn, tells you what your next immediate step should be. So I think having a strong vision adds an ease to your entire journey as an artist as a result. If you don't have a strong artistic vision, you can also end up having a vision projected onto you by a manager or a record label, for example, which is what typically happens with artists whom have been manufactured. In my experience, this usually doesn't lead to longevity for an artist, and it doesn't also lead to the artist having full confidence that they're doing the right thing, because ultimately it won't have come from them. I should say that in the case of some artists and performers, it's the right approach for them to have a vision kind of put on them or constructed for them in some way. And there's no judgment on that. It's just important that you understand the difference so that you can make an informed decision on which approach is best for you. So if you as the artist have a really strong vision, it becomes your team's job to help facilitate that vision and bring it to fruition, alongside yourself, of course. Just one consideration when choosing your team is to make them fully aware of your vision and then see if they're on the same page as you. Do they see and envision your artist project the same way you do? This doesn't mean they won't have opinions or suggestions on how it should be shaped, but overall, they should absolutely be on the same page as you and your vision. If they're not, it's almost guaranteed that they're not the right team for you. And I think this is especially true when it comes to you choosing a manager. As a manager, I'm excited when I meet artists with a clear vision of who they are and what they want to create and achieve. This is absolutely something I look for in artists I'm considering representing. So it's worth you thinking about if you don't already feel you have a strong vision for your artist project. If you do, it's imperative then that your whole team are working together towards that vision at all times. When they are, you'll find your trajectory speeds up considerably. But when there's doubt or confusion over your vision, the opposite is true. So I encourage you to spend some time now thinking about and strengthening your vision for your artist project. This might include brainstorming, making notes, or creating vision boards, whilst asking yourself the questions that I posed earlier in this episode. You want to work on this until you're really clear on what your artistic vision is, without compromise. Once you're clear on your vision, all you need to do is keep this in mind as you move forward. Then get obsessed with the process of working towards your vision, one small step at a time. That's it for this week's episode of the Virtual Manager podcast. Let me know what you think of these Diary of an Artist Manager episodes and if you'd like to continue hearing them. And before I go, I'd also like to ask if there's a topic you'd like me to cover in the podcast or a question you'd like me to answer. If so, please do let me know by leaving a comment or sending me a message on social media. You can find me at AR Artist Management on Facebook or at AR Artist MGMT on both Instagram and Twitter. I look forward to hearing from you. In the meantime, I will be back next week with another episode of the Virtual Manager podcast. Thanks for listening. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Virtual Manager podcast. If you've found it useful, I invite you to check out the Virtual Manager membership site. The Virtual Manager is an essential resource for independent music artists who want to start, build, or grow a successful, sustainable music career. It ensures that you have the foundations of that music career in place, then helps you to build on those to achieve your music career goals. With monthly music industry training, a library of tools and resources, A&R feedback on your music, access to live Q&As with me, plus an active supportive community of like-minded artists, the Virtual Manager is the perfect place to be for any unmanaged or independent artist. The Virtual Manager relaunches very shortly, so to get early bird access at the lowest membership price, join the waiting list now at thevirtualmanager.co.uk. Finally, please take a minute to review and subscribe to this podcast. It helps more independent music artists to find us.